Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Welcome back. We're back with some more of the Ty Tucker trial, as you guys can expect. Now, this point is where he starts to represent himself. I shouldn't say represent himself, but he's starting to testify on his own behalf. Now, if you guys remember the Darrell Brooks trial and the Bradley Yon trial, I believe, neither of these men testified on their own behalf. You know what I mean? So this is going to be something different. Because he doesn't have an actual defense, since he's acting as his own lawyer, he's going to just do basically a monologue of his version of the events of what happened that night. How does he, how is he involved in this situation? Like, how is his name coming up in this situation? That's how he's going to try to explain it. And of course, he's going to try to have an alibi to explain why he had nothing to do with that situation. Now, I skipped up a little bit, and so far, the reason he ends up in this warehouse that they all go up to meet up at is because he's in, a tough situation. He's basically homeless, making a little bit of money, but can't afford to stay somewhere like for real. So he's staying at this warehouse, watching some items for somebody who had like a domestic issue at that property. So that's the reason why he's even there in the first place. Apparently, there's different apartments in that one storage facility. So we're picking up from, basically, he's met Travis, the getaway driver. He's met Rory before, but he doesn't really know them too much, and they get into arguments and fights, and like he doesn't really mingle too often with these people. That's the story. But anyways, let's go ahead and tap into what he has to say. And to catch you up, he's saying that this is during a festival period, and he's been drinking a lot. So things are, on top of everything else, fuzzy. So, there's a lot of things going for him so that he could lie his way out of this. Memory is fuzzy. Didn't really know the two co-defendants like that. Just in a bad place at a bad time. That's his analogy so far. Let's go ahead and check it out.
I have a tendency to drink more when I'm down here. And this one day, and this is about the best I could recollect, is, I remember that day I was drinking Fireball with Travis, right? So I know I had been drinking that day. And I know I went into the bedroom, which is, again, CJ and Michelle's room. And I know, so this is during the time period where I'm watching it for them.
Keep in mind, CJ and Michelle are the people who got forcefully evicted out of the house, right? So he's being a good Samaritan and watching these things for these people. That's the whole reason that he's at this apartment area right now. That, according to him.
So I remember that. And I don't remember much else about the day, except I do remember at one point, it's got to be later on in the evening, and I wake up and I'm out of cigarettes, right? And I wake up and I get, and Travis is actually there, right? So I go and I walk to Tom Thumb, to get cigarettes, and I go over there to get cigarettes, and I come back, and when we were up at Tom Thumb, right? I remember looking, and I'm like, I could look up, okay, there's the fire stations right there, and then you can see Laurel Avenue, where this happened, right? You can see Laurel Avenue from there. And I could see the cop lights up there, right? I could see a bunch of cop lights up there. And I remember saying to Travis, I was like, man, I wonder what happened up there, right? And it's like, and the thing is again, I'm not in dark clothing. I am in shorts. I am wearing sandals. I am wearing, normal people clothes, right? I guess I should say normal for Key West, right? But anyway, yes, and Mr. Mansfield alluded to this. I did have a nice big long goatee, and I had, Lord knows I have tattoos when I take off my suit.
A nice big long goatee? No, you had a bummy, long, homeless man beard. That wasn't a nice big long goatee. Your head was all spackled. Looked like you had some sort of disease on your head top. Shit was looking rough for you, bro. It was not looking pretty, all right? So a big long goatee is kind of an understatement of what that shit was on your face. So he's just waking up, guys. He just woke up and he looks over to the area where the incident happened, and he's like, oh, cop lights. I wonder what the fuck happened there. Damn. Hey, Travis, you know what happened over there? Nah, I don't. I don't know what happened. Let me go back to sleep though. Sure.
But the bottom line is I planned on living on boats, and yes, I was living that lifestyle. It's like, I planned, like I said, I planned on sailing off into the sunset, and just enjoying my life and kind of traveling. So I kind of looked like a little savage. I'm not gonna say I didn't. It's like, us boat people, we kind of had have a style, I guess.
Us boat people, no. Us homeless people and crackheads. Now, come on now. Like, come on now. Us crackheads have a certain style, depravity, just a certain style. You're not a boat person, bro.
What it is. And, yeah, it's kind of a freer way of living, I guess. Anyway, but beside the point. So getting back to that night, I remember looking up on Laurel Avenue and seeing the lights, right? By the time we got back, right, so it's not a very far walk from Tom Thumb to the warehouse. But by the time we got back there were cop cars everywhere. I mean, I'd never seen anything like that on Stock Island, right? I mean, literally, you had the FWC, Border Patrol, there's police everywhere, and they're going everywhere, right? And, there's police sirens everywhere. And I remember, we went back inside, and I think Travis did buy like a 12-pack of beer or something like that, right? And we go back inside, and I remember you could see, again, there was a bunch of these cop cars that went down into what they call it Little Haiti there, right? It's a bunch of trailers, and yes, it's before you get to the Hogfish, right?
That's fucked up that they call a poor area Little Haiti. Like, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, there's a bunch of trailers. They call it Little Haiti. That's messed up, bro. What? That's messed up. Like, come on now, people. Let's do better.
That road there. And I remember there's a bunch of cop cars that, man, you're going down into that neighborhood, right? And I'm like, damn, I wonder what those guys did. I'm like, whatever it is, they want them bad, So, and I think I said that to Travis. I'm not sure. Oh, and by the way, when we got back, that was the other thing. Big Scott was waiting for us when we got back. I remember that too, because I know Travis. He testified that he had the key to the door. Him and Maury Wilson were the only ones with the keys to the door, right? So. Big Scott was waiting outside for us, right? And because he couldn't get inside, right? He couldn't get in the door, right? So anyway, so we go upstairs, and and when I saw all that stuff out the window, you got to remember I'm still a little bit lit. I managed to walk my butt down to the Tom Thumb, but I wasn't going much farther than that. So anyway, so I go from there. Let's see, I go from there, and I remember. Big Scott and Travis were going to go, and they were going to go hang out on the front porch downstairs and watch the cop cars go by, just see what was up. They're going to drink beer on the porch and watch the cop cars. I'm like, okay, I'm going back to bed, because I was like, I'm not, I'm still not good, right? So I went back in and I passed out and in the bed, right? Was it CJ and Michelle's room, right? So I passed out in there. And from what I understand, again, I can't, I can't really, say, except for I've seen it on video now. I mean, I've seen it on video as far as some of this stuff. But while I was upstairs and I'm passed out in there, this is where, okay, to clarify, when I went to go get cigarettes at Tom Thumb, right, it has to be sometime after the Florida Keys Electric video that you see there, right? It has to be sometime after that. I don't know when, but unfortunately, that's all we have for video. So I don't know. I just know that it had to be sometime after that, because, like I said, Travis is already there. So it's like, okay, I know it has to be there, right? So anyway, so I don't know exactly, what time. I couldn't tell you exactly what time. I do know that yes, it would have been helpful if we had the video from Tom Thumb.
Judge, can I object? Can we come sidebar?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're objecting to him. I mean, this is his. I mean, he can say whatever he wants. This is his testimony, but he's really trying to place himself as just the the good Samaritan who decided to help watch somebody's stuff who was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's bullshit. Now, come on. Come on. Now, if this is actually true, imagine this story is true. It's a wild story to just, be caught up in a whole robbery and get blamed for a robbery that you didn't even do. but I just don't see it happening. I don't see it.
Because, I mean, it is kind of a big deal, you know? So, anyway, so I go pass out, and somewheres along the night, you know, I wake up, man, and Rory Wilson is there, you know, and Travis is there, and Big Scott's there. And, you know, I mean, we're drinking, and yeah, you know, smoking some weed, you know, I mean, and, you know, as far as crack, I don't remember, man.
What I tell you?
You know, not too much of it anyway. I mean, I saw.
What I tell you, crackhead. He was like, as far as crack, no, I don't. I can't say I recall any crack being around. You know, we didn't smoke too much crack that day. We only smoked a little weed, just so nonchalantly. You know, you a crackhead, bro. You a crackhead.
I vaguely remember some of it, but you know, but the thing is because you know, I say that because I seem to remember somebody having crack, somebody smoking it, but man, I don't remember. I do, you know, again. At this point, I'm resuming drinking, and I am smoking weed at this time, right? So I'm not, you know, again, I'm refogging my brain at this point. So anyway, so after that, let's see, because okay, like I said, you know, again, I had a tendency around Fantasy Fest. It was usually a couple weeks worth of partying, man, during Fantasy Fest is usually what it was for me, you know.
And he's trying his very best. I'm just going to say this here. He's trying his very best to say that, yeah, Fantasy Fest, and, oh, I was a boater, so we lived a little raggedy, and we drank a lot. We drank a lot. And, you know, we did all these things. So my mind is foggy. You know, I'm refogging my brain, you know, for lack of better words, you know. Yeah, see, he's trying to run with that story that I'm trustworthy, but there's a few things I don't fully remember. But trust me, I'm trustworthy. I'm good. Like, I'm trustworthy. Don't worry about it. That little narrative he's trying to run with, it's not going to work, bro. You're starting to see the cracks. You're starting to see the flaws in his story and his approach right now.
But, you know, I don't remember much, man, as far as the next day. I don't really remember too much as far as that went. You know, I do remember, okay, this is one thing I do remember. I go, because again, it starts, to, you know, it's been many years, and I can't really tell you guys, man, you know, exactly, because it has been years, and I'm trying to, you know, my best to remember here. But I do remember there's a point that comes in there where we have two detectives that show up at the door, right? And they come to the front door. And I opened the door for them. You know, I literally opened the door for them. And it, you know, I know now who they are. You know, I mean, I'm sure they introduced themselves at the time. I just don't remember them introducing themselves. But it was Detective Smith and Detective Fernandez, right? And now, don't get me wrong. I knew they were detectives because they're not wearing uniforms and they've got their badge on their belt, right? So the thing is okay. So I know they're detectives, right? And they start asking me questions about Rory Wilson, right? And now I know Rory. I mean, I don't know. You know, again. It's not like we hang out all the time. It's not.
You know, I don't know Rory like that. I don't know Travis like that. We're not best of friends. We're not delinquent pieces of shit together. We're just individuals. Like, we're just individual pieces of shit, you know? I don't really know Rory like that. Come on now. Bullshit.
I know him, you know, I know him that well, right? But I know him, right? And but they're asking me questions like, okay, you know, they're asking me, you know, is he a drug dealer? You know, they're asking me, you know, stuff like that, right? And I'm like, well, not that I know of. You know, I know he has a job. You know, I mean, I know he has a pregnant girlfriend. I know that. You know, but you know, they're asking me a bunch of different questions, right? And you know, I actually even, you know, I even gave him, you know, Rory's phone number. I was like, you know, if you want to contact him, here, I'll give you his number, right? And I remember Rory after that, man. It's like. You know, sorry, weird, but he texts me right after they leave, and because I also told him that Rory's door is around the other side of the building, right? It's actually on the back side of the building. He has like a front door that's all his own, right? And I told him about that, and it's like, so anyway, again, you know, it's a little fuzzy here, but I do remember Rory texting me not long after they left, right? And, you know, he's like, you know, cops.
Objection to hearsay.
I'll sustain the objection.
Okay. Well, anyway, so I do remember, you know, telling Rory I go to you know him because they left me a card, right? And I go knock on his door and I give him the card, right? And I said, look, man, these aren't uniformed officers. These are detectives, man. I'm like, and they were asking me some questions about you, and you might want to give them a call. You know what I mean? So anyway, so that's what I tell them, and I give them the card, right? And after that, let's see. I'm trying to remember anything important after that, because, okay, after that, I don't remember too much. Oh, because it wasn't too long after that where they come in and they do this raid. But okay, prior to the raid, I remember this. It's Thanksgiving time, right? So it's around Thanksgiving, right? And I remember the Lunas had like a Thanksgiving dinner, like a free Thanksgiving dinner or something like that, right? And I like the Lunas, and so I went over there for that. And I think this would be the 21st. I would have to say it's the 21st because actually, I know it's the 21st now. Okay, so it's the 21st, right? And
This guy has a degree in just rambling, bro. Rambling and sounding good. You know what I mean? Rambling. He has a degree in rambling and making the bullshit sound like something's being said. Bro, he's gone over like 3 points in this whole past 15 minutes. You're homeless. You went to a warehouse. You met Rory. You met Travis. And you're watching somebody's house and the police came. But he's going through every little detail, every little small detail to fluff it and make it sound all good. And yeah, they weren't looking at me as a possible, what's the word? They weren't looking at me as a possible suspect. There was only Rory and Travis that were possible suspects. Bro, his level of rambling and just talking and making it sound decent is off the charts. I'll tell you, it's off the charts. His level of bullshitting, he's bullshitted people before.
This is Paula and Todd O'Quinn. We went to the bar a couple times. Went down to the Hogfish, and I had a little bit too much to drink or whatever, and I couldn't get all the way back to either Cots or I stayed a couple of different places, but yeah. And I couldn't make it all the way back because again, remember this is after the storm. I'm still trying to rebuild. And so anyway, I remember staying there two nights. There's two different times, but different times, not 2 nights in a row, but different time periods. And just because I couldn't make it back. And I remember one night, I don't know if Paula remembers, but I remember one night she woke me up yelling at me. But yeah, and it's but the thing is so yeah, those are the only 3 times that I've been to the Treehouse. And let's see, and then what was the other one? There was something else somebody asked me not too long ago, and I think it's kind of relevant. Trying to remember. It's because yeah, that takes care of that. But I'm trying to remember here. Oh no, somebody asked me if I knew Matt, and like I said, I've already answered that question. It was I met him once. Wait a second, because I'm forgetting about a part here. They take me out of the interrogation room at some point, and they take me down. They put me in a squad car, right? And I'm still in handcuffs, right? So I'm still in handcuffs, but they put me in the squad car, and they leave me down in the squad car for I don't know how long. It had to be like an hour. I have no idea, but I was in the squad car, and then they bring me back up, and they ask me a bunch more questions, right? And like I said, now it's I'm getting this feeling. I'm like, okay, wait a second. They're not asking me because they think, because they just want information. They think I had something to do with this thing.
Ding, 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 ding. Everybody thinks you had something to do with it, man. If the prosecution and everybody thinks you had something to do with it, you probably had something to do with it. And even if the victim themselves don't think you had something to do with it, if everybody else thinks so, guess what? You're going to get grilled, bro. And the fact that you made it all the way to trial means there's something there.
Right. And, yeah, at the time I remember, that they went to that direction. And, again, I'm very adamant. I get very adamant once I realize this. I'm like, oh, no, but, yeah, so I don't know if I can testify to what I said, but I remember, saying it to them. I was like,
Objection to what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, okay. And I won't say what I said then. But I will say this. I was very adamant about, not having anything to do with it. So eventually it gets down to the point where I've been interrogated all night over this thing. And it got to a point, I mean, I was like, look, I'm like, are you going to arrest me? Are you actually going to arrest me? Or am I free to go? Can I get, look, I'm tired of being here. I'm tired of saying the same, giving these answers. Can I go home, or are you going to arrest me for this thing? And they let me go, right? And not only did they let me go, the bad part about that is they made me walk home. And I remember the directive was to check out the cameras, how many cameras there were, right? And and they did give me, I'll give them this, they gave me slides, because remember I told you I didn't have any shoes. They gave me slides, right? Was it the stuff they use in jail, the slides, right? Kind of like flip-flops. Anyway, so they give me those and send me on my way. So now I got to walk all the way home, which, okay, it's a little distance, And so I walked there, and I probably got there, I don't know, I probably got there like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning. It was early in the morning, and I've been there all night, right? And when I get there, the door is locked, and as we've said, I didn't have a key, right? So, but my stuff is still in there. Now I'm freaked out. I gotta tell you, I'm freaked out, because okay, when they, again, that I've never had that happen, right? So I'm freaked out about the thing, and when I get there, the door's locked, and I remember I had to throw rocks up at the windows to finally get Travis to come down and open the door. Right, so he comes down, he opens up the door, and I tell him what happened. It's like I just tell him what happened to me. I was like, I can't believe it. I can't believe they took me down there. Blah blah blah. This that, and that, right? So anyway, but I don't want to stay there. I don't want to stay there. I'm like, okay, this is way more than this is way more than I want, right? So I get my stuff together, and I literally grab all my stuff, and I tell CJ Michelle. I called up CJ Michelle, and I was like, look, look, it's all good, you guys, man, but I can't stay here. You know what I'm saying? I can't stay here anymore. And
yeah, remember, he's only here for CJ and Michelle. He's not here to get high, smoke crack with his friends, and maybe go rob somebody for some more drugs. No. He's here as a good Samaritan for CJ and Michelle. Crazy. The whole little narrative is a beautiful narrative, It's like they just picked him up because Travis was doing something in the house. They thought you were doing something wrong. And look, it's all one big misunderstanding, guys. Come on, cut that out. I'm a good Samaritan, okay? I'm going to throw a picture up. Does this look like a good Samaritan to you? Just saying. Bro looked crazy. And then he meets his multi-millionaire girlfriend, gets married to her. I think they got married. And now he's looking all sophisticated and, all, prim and proper. He was a crackhead. And what's crazy to me is, how does the CrossFit lady fall for somebody like this? How, you must really be out here looking for love, bro, desperately to fall for some shit like this. And this lady is so rich. Why are you fucking with him? She could be messing with a movie star or an athlete. No, you're going to mess with Ty Franklin. What's his name? Ty Tucker. You're going to mess with him. That, I don't know. That just doesn't sit well with me, bro. Date people in your own tax bracket. You're rich. You're a rich person.
I remember them asking me if I would at least grab, they had family photos and pictures of kids and stuff like that. And they asked me if I would grab that and take it down to Burger King and drop it off there, right? And I was like, yes, I can at least do that for you, So I grabbed a bunch of the pictures, man, from their room, and I tried to grab, anything, that could be of value or sentimental value to them, right? Because now I'm leaving, and I'm not staying there. And so, yeah, I grab all that. I put it into a bag for him, and I grab my stuff, and I head on out. And I go ahead. And this is, I don't know, it's, I don't remember what time of day it is. I know it's morning, like I said, I got there probably 5, 6 o'clock, so I don't remember how long it took him to open the door or anything like that. But I did grab, some stuff, dropped it off at Burger King, and I do remember I called 2 people that day. I called my friend Cliff, and I called one of my brothers, Jeff. He's not blood-related brother, but he is my brother in every sense. But yes, so I go ahead and I call them because I'm freaked out, right? Because I knew when they let me go, I knew that, okay, they let me go, but I got the distinct impression that, man, no, they thought I had something to do with this, and they were, this was not going to be the last time that they talked to me about this. And I was scared. I'm going to tell you, straight up, I was scared. I didn't know what was going on, and I was like, I can't explain to anybody, the feeling, but I was scared, so that's why I called them.
You know what's crazy is that he doesn't really have an alibi in this thing, other than he was really fucked up and that his memory is hazy, and that he went and got cigarettes with Travis after the event had happened. That's what he's trying to allude to, right? Like Travis and Rory did their thing. Travis got back home. He just wakes up and like, oh yeah, now we're just going cigarettes. Oh, now we're just smoking crack together. Just hanging out. I have no idea what happened. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's too convenient of a story. It's way too convenient of a story. It's like, come on, bro. You were sleeping while they were robbing the house for drugs. You seem like a drug addict. You seem like you would be interested in that type of activity, But anyways, you guys hit the comments and tell me what you think. Is he innocent? Is he guilty? We'll go, I think we're going to come through with some cross-examination of the actual prosecution themselves, ask him a bunch of questions to see what happens. But yeah, this is him testifying on his own behalf, man. It's, again, he's a professional rambler. He's able to make nothing sound like something. But I'll tell you one thing, bro. I don't think it's gonna work out for him. It's not gonna pan out the way he expected. But anyways, people, I'm out of here, man. I'm out of here. Stay tuned for the next episode. Stay inside, stay safe, and of course, people, I love y'all. I'll see you in the next one.